The night my feelings finally quit, I am standing under a ring of cameras in Midtown. The client, an actor who just got caught screaming at a barista, is shaking beside me at the podium. I am Riley Quinn, Crisis Public Relations Director, and it is my job to make the world like him again. The room smells like sweat and burned coffee, reporters packed shoulder to shoulder, phones held high. I remind myself to breathe, to smile, to sound calm, even as my chest feels like it is full of sand.
Thank you for coming. We want to address the incident directly and with honesty.
My voice comes out smooth, confident, the kind of tone that used to give me a rush of pride. Tonight there is nothing, no fear, no thrill, only a flat buzzing behind my eyes. The actor reads the apology I wrote, his hands trembling, cameras flashing like a storm around him. A reporter cuts in, asking if this is just another staged stunt, and the room erupts with questions. Normally I would dance through the chaos, redirect, joke, flip the narrative in 3 sentences. Instead my throat locks, my mind turns white blank, and I just stare at the sea of faces. Someone shouts my name, and it sounds like it comes from the bottom of a swimming pool. Heat roars in my ears. My palms go numb, and the buzzing in my head grows louder. My heart is racing, but I cannot even name what I feel. Not panic, not anger, just static. I grip the podium until my nails hurt. Then my knees buckle, and the world tilts sideways. The cameras catch it. Riley Quinn, the Ice Queen of Manhattan Public Relations, folding on live stream. The feed will be clipped into GIFs before I hit the floor. I come back on the bathroom tiles of the hotel, cold under my cheek, mascara streaked on my wrist. There are paramedics outside the stall, my assistant sobbing softly, my client pacing and cursing. I do not cry. I do not scream. I do not feel anything at all.
I am fine. I am just tired. Do not make this bigger than it is.
The paramedic shines a light into my eyes, asks if I have been under stress, and laughs bitterly inside. 2 hours later I am back at the office. Because that is what people like me do. The city blurs past the town car window, neon bleeding into rain on the glass. My boss waits in the conference room, sleeves rolled up, tie loosened, jaw clenched so tight it ticks.
You faint on a live broadcast, Riley. Do you know what that does to our reputation?
Graham Ward built Ward's stratagem from nothing. And he hates weakness more than he hates losing.
It will blow over. We will spin it. I can make this work for us.
My mouth moves, but the words feel far away. Rehearsed lines from a script I no longer believe in.
You have not slept in weeks. Your team is terrified of you. Our clients are whispering that you are unstable. Take a week off, or I will find someone who can stand on a stage without collapsing.
I nod, because fighting takes energy I do not have anymore. On the ride home, my phone will not stop buzzing. Headlines, messages, a text from my mother I ignore. Halfway through doom scrolling I see an ad that should not be there. Not between skincare and flight deals. A black screen, white text, simple and strange emotion lending office. Borrow what you cannot feel. My thumb hovers over the screen, and for the first time in days I feel something like curiosity. I tap the link and the browser glitches, the address bar filling with numbers, then settling on a single page. There is no map, no photos, only 3 words: calm, courage, joy, and a button that says book a session. Any sane person would laugh, would close the window, but sane left my body somewhere between the podium and the tiles.
Fine, let us see what kind of scam you are.
I hit the button, fill in my name, my number, the word calm in the box that asks what I want to borrow. 30 seconds later my phone rings with a number that is not in any area code I know. For the first time all night, my pulse slows instead of racing.
Riley Quinn, you requested a calm loan. This is the emotion lending office.
The voice on the line is low and steady, like late night radio, like the part of a storm before the rain hits.
Is this a joke? Did my assistant put you up to this?
You fainted on live television. Your nervous system is in revolt. This is not a joke.
My spine chills, because he says it like he watched it, like he felt it with me.
First session is free. Miss Quinn, in person is safer. Can you be at 47 East 10th in 30 minutes?
I should hang up, block the number, book an actual therapist for next week, and sleep for a year. Instead I tell the driver to change directions, and the words taste like surrender and relief. When we pull up, the address is a narrow brick building between a closed bookstore and a forgotten bar. No sign, no lights, only a brass buzzer with a tiny engraved word, office. I press it, my fingers shaking, and the door unlocks with a soft click that feels like a choice I cannot undo. The stairwell smells like old paper and rain as I climb to the third floor. Each step feels heavier than the last, like I am walking into someone else's life. At the top there is a single frosted glass door with gold letters, Emotion Lending Office. Inside, the space looks nothing like a clinic and nothing like a scam call center. Warm lamps, plants in mismatched pots, a faded couch that looks softer than any hotel bed I have known. Behind a small desk sits a man in his 60s, silver hair, blue eyes that miss nothing.
You are late, Miss Quinn.
You are not my boss. You do not get to say that.
He smiles, slow and amused, as if he has heard that exact sentence 100 times.
Call me Graham. I run this place. You asked to borrow calm.
I almost laugh, because hearing my own request out loud makes the whole thing sound ridiculous.
Look, I clicked an ad during a breakdown. I am sure this is not actually a thing.
Then you have nothing to lose by trying. Come in, sit down. I will explain the terms.
The couch swallows me, cushions soft, my muscles aching with the shock of sitting still. Graham pours tea from a chipped white pot and slides a mug into my hands. The mug is hot enough to sting. That tiny pain, the first real sensation I register all day.
You have what we call emotional depletion. Your system has been sprinting on emergency mode for too long. We do not erase feelings here. We lend you the ones you cannot access in exchange for a fee and a few rules.
So this is like renting a car but with joy and calm instead of leather seats.
My sarcasm is a weak shield, but it is the only armor I have left.
You borrow a small amount of a specific emotion from a donor. We channel it through you for a fixed window. The emotion snaps back to neutral after the session, and the donor does not lose anything they cannot spare.
And the catch, because there is always one.
You may notice echoes, a memory that is not yours, a scent, a song, nothing dangerous on a first loan.
Echoes, I can live with echoes. I have been haunted by other people's headlines for years.
First calm session is on the house. If you like the result, we talk about a package.
He gestures toward a side door, and every cell in my body screams to get up and run. Instead, I stand, follow him, because the thought of feeling nothing forever scares me more than any scam. The room beyond is small and quiet. One recliner, a side table, a strange metal frame over the chair like a halo. A man stands with his back to us, tall in a dark sweater, hands in his pockets. Even before he turns, the air feels different, less heavy, like opening a window after a storm.
You brought me the fainting public relations star, Graham. I watched the clip 3 times.
His voice is the same as the one on the phone, warm, steady, threaded with a teasing edge.
Great, so the mysterious emotion dealer also watches my worst moments on repeat.
He turns, and for a second I forget to breathe. Dark hair, tired eyes. The kind of face that looks younger until you see the lines at the corners. He looks like every barista, every late-night neighbor, ordinary and not, until you feel the calm around him.
I am Eli Mercer. I supply most of the calm and courage in this office. You sit there, I sit here. Graham handles the channel. You remember to breathe.
I drop into the recliner, my body both heavy and weightless, Eli taking the chair across from me. Graham adjusts the metal halo, attaches a cool band across my wrist. Another around Eli forearm. The device hums softly, like a phone on vibrate, as he flips a hidden switch. For a heartbeat, nothing happens. Then a gentle wave rolls through my chest. The buzzing in my head quiets. My muscles loosen. My breath drops from my throat to my ribs. I expected a jolt, some dramatic trance. Instead, I feel like I have finally exhaled after holding air all day.
This is fine. This is weirdly fine.
I almost laugh. Not the brittle sound that made my assistants flinch, but something softer. Memories flicker. A summer lake, a guitar on a porch, none of them mine, but none of them scary.
You are borrowing 30 minutes of calm. That is all. Do not sign your soul away yet.
His eyes stay on mine steady, like he is monitoring a storm radar, only he can see. For the first time in months, my heart beats without racing. My thoughts line up instead of spiraling. I picture tomorrow inbox, the headlines, my boss rage, and my shoulders do not creep up to my ears. By the time the session ends, I feel like someone replaced my veins with warm water.
Side effects may include thinking life is worth more than your next success story.
He hands me a simple paper card, black with white print, 3 boxes, calm, courage, joy.
When you need another loan, you book through the code on the back. Remember, small doses, no more than 3 sessions in a month.
Outside, the city is still loud, still cruel, taxis honking, sirens wailing, but the noise does not pierce straight through me. I sleep that night for the first time in weeks, heavy and dreamless, my phone face down on the dresser. By the end of the week, I have booked a second calm loan to face a board meeting, and signed a contract for a monthly package. I tell myself it is just another tool, another retainer, like a media list or a crisis template. I ignore the way my chest flutters when I see Eli's name on the confirmation email. On the third booking, when I check courage instead of calm, the confirmation screen is different. In person only, the text reads physical presence required for courage loans at this level. I do not know that by the time I walk back through that frosted door, nothing in my life will stay neutral again. The day of my third session starts with an email from our biggest client legal team. Attached are leaked screenshots that should not exist. Strategy drafts twisted into something crooked. The sender field makes my stomach drop. Vanessa King, my favorite rival, copied on every accusation. She is the golden girl of our industry, all white teeth and sunshine, with a knife tucked politely behind her back. The message suggests that I have been feeding a gossip site for months, trading secrets for coverage boosts. It is a lie, but a perfect one, built from fragments of truth I shared in hallways and cars at 2 in the morning. By noon, my boss has called an emergency meeting, and 3 clients have asked to put our contracts on hold. I should be preparing a defense, drafting a timeline, calling legal. Instead, I am staring at the clock. The hands crawl towards 6. The time printed on my courage session confirmation, pulsing in my inbox like a lifeline.
If I walk into that boardroom empty, Vanessa will eat me alive.
My reflection in the elevator doors looks like a stranger. Dark circles, sharp cheekbones, eyes too bright. I grip the emotion lending card so hard the edges bite into my palm. The office looks the same when I push through the frosted door. Warm light, plants, the soft couch. Only the air feels charged, like static building before a thunderstorm.
You picked courage. This time, bold move.
Eli is leaning against the doorway, sweater sleeves pushed to his elbows, eyes shadowed with a tired kind of focus.
Either courage or a full breakdown on live television again. Figured this was the cheaper option.
He huffs a quiet laugh, then studies my face like my skin is a weather map only he can read.
You are more frayed than last time, and you were not exactly a spa brochure. Then,
I want to snap that I am fine, that I always handle it, but the words die on my tongue. Graham appears behind the desk, watching us with that unreadable patience he wears like a coat.
Contract first. Courage is heavier than calm. The rules are stricter.
He slides a single page toward me. Fine print marching down the bottom half. A blank line at the top for my signature. My eyes catch on one clause. Physical proximity required. Shared channel risk increases, with repeated exposure.
Shared channel risk. What is that supposed to mean?
In rare cases, deep loans can create a temporary link. You might feel flashes of the donor state, and they might feel yours. It fades when the loan ends. We have never had a permanent bind here.
He says it lightly, but something in his gaze flickers, gone before I can catch it. I sign anyway because my world is already on fire. One more risk does not scare me. In the session room, the Halo device hums louder than I remember, the metal cool against my skin. Eli sits closer this time, our knees almost touching, energy humming between us like a wire.
close your eyes. Riley, think about the moment you are most afraid of today.
The boardroom flashes behind my lids, Vanessa smug in her perfect suit, my boss frowning, headline writers sharpening their knives. My pulse races, breath shallow, the buzzing in my ears starting to roar. Then the first wave hits, not calm this time, but a strange hot clarity. My spine straightens, my lungs open. The fear stays but loses its claws. Images surge that are not mine. A kid stepping onto a stage, a hand tightening on a steering wheel before a hard turn. Every scene hums with the same sensation. The step into danger while knowing you will not break.
This feels like standing on the edge of a roof and loving the view instead of fearing the fall.
I hear Eli inhale, sharp, like my words hit somewhere tender.
That is the point. You remember, you can move even when the world tries to pin you down.
The device hum climbs, the air thickening, the hairs on my arms lifting. A second sensation threads through the courage, raw and jagged. A kind of quiet ache I recognize too well. Exhaustion, loneliness, the weight of carrying other people's mess until your own name feels blurry. It is not mine, not exactly. But it fits me like a borrowed coat. My eyes snap open, and Eli is staring back. Pupils blown wide, jaw clenched.
Graham, dial it down, now.
His voice is tight, a fine sheen of sweat on his forehead, his hand gripping the arm of the chair. The machine crackles, lights flickering, a sharp metallic smell slicing through the warm tea and plants. For one fractured second, I am not just me. I am standing in a dark apartment, holding a phone full of strangers' secrets. Feeling their grief like a physical tide. I am sitting in this same chair 100 times, letting their fear pour through me until it turns into something quiet. Then I am back inside my own body, choking on air, fingers digging into the chair. The halo frame sparks, Graham swears, and everything goes sharply, completely black. When I come to, I am on the floor, back against the recliner, Eli half collapsed beside me. Our wrists are still connected by the bands, the machine dark, a faint burnt smell fading from the air. My chest is heaving, but not with panic, with something else. Something that is not entirely mine. Sadness, heavy and old, sits low in my ribs, paired with a thread of fierce protective anger that I have never felt before. Eli's eyes open slowly, and when they lock on mine, I know he feels something that belongs to me.
Why does it suddenly feel like I am about to walk into a boardroom where everyone wants my head?
His voice trembles on the last word, and I flinch, because the boardroom fear is mine, not his.
Do not panic, we had a surge. The channel overloaded, it will settle.
His words say calm, but his eyes are sharp, calculating, like someone who has seen this exact thing before, and hoped never to see it again.
You said the link would fade. This does not feel like fading.
My stomach flips as Eli grimaces and presses a hand to his chest.
I can taste your adrenaline, Quinn. This is new.
A laugh bubbles out of me, wild and thin, because of course even my emotions need a merger deal to function.
Temporary binding, that is all. 48 hours at most, maybe less. You share echoes in both directions. You will feel each other's spikes, highs, crashes until the connection burns out.
The room tilts again, not from fainting this time, but from the sudden brutal awareness that I am no longer alone in my own head. I should have been terrified, but under the fear something sparks, stubborn and strange. For the first time in a very long time, someone else will be forced to feel exactly how much this life costs me. 48 hours turns into the longest, strangest weekend of my life. We leave the office with matching headache pulses, Graham warning us not to make any rash decisions. On the sidewalk outside, Eli winces, then glares at a taxi that blasts its horn.
Is this what it is like in your head all the time? Everything on fire, and very loud.
Welcome to Crisis Public Relations, population me and a lot of idiots.
He laughs, but there is a thread of shock underneath, like he did not expect my internal static to be so intense. On the subway home, I grip the rail and feel a wave of quiet sweep through my chest. It is not mine. I know that now. It is Eli choosing to breathe slow on purpose. A kid drops a soda. It explodes on a man's shoes, and irritation spikes through me. That is not mine at all.
You need to chill, Mercer. It is just sugar water.
He meets my eyes across the car, eyebrows raised, clearly hearing my thought even before I speak.
You are the one who wants to fight everyone. On that ad board, do not lecture me about chill.
By the time I get home, my phone is full of messages from my boss, and exactly none from my friends. I toss it on the couch, then double over as a wave of grief hits me out of nowhere. Images flash behind my eyes, a hospital room. A woman hand going still, an empty chair in a waiting room. I know without asking that I am inside Eli Loss. The one he never mentioned between jokes and tea.
I am sorry for whoever that was.
The words leave my mouth, even though I am alone in my living room.
My mother, 3 years ago, heart failed early. She used to say I cared too much about other people's problems.
His answer filters through like a text in the back of my skull. Weary but honest.
She would absolutely tell me this binding is a terrible idea.
I sink onto the couch, letting his emotions wash through. Softer now, less overwhelming. In return, I know he feels my exhaustion. The way my shoulders never drop below my ears, the way silence feels dangerous. The next morning, He gets a front row seat to my least favorite ritual, pre-meeting panic. I stand in my kitchen with coffee shaking in my hand, picturing the boardroom and Vanessa smile.
Stop rehearsing losing. Try rehearsing winning for once.
That is not how this industry works. There is always blood on the floor.
He sends back a surge of stubborn calm that makes me grip the counter and swear. At the office, people stare, whispers trailing behind me like smoke as I head for the elevator. Vanessa is waiting inside, perfume sweet and sharp, phone in her hand, fake sympathy pasted on her face.
Rough week, Riley. If you need a break, I can always take your accounts. I am generous like that.
Her voice drips honey, but my chest stays strangely steady, courage pooling where fear used to sit. I feel Li attention sharpen from miles away. Irritation sparking that blends with my own.
You should worry less about my accounts, and more about the part where falsifying evidence is a crime.
Her eyes flash, shock and anger flaring. And I know she did not expect me to bite back this hard. Ellie sends me a quick pulse of approval. A little flare of pride that makes warmth crawl up my neck. In the boardroom the accusations fly, emails printed, timelines projected. My career balanced on a thin bright edge. I feel every eye on me, the old panic scratching at the door. But it never fully gets in. Each time my chest tightens, Eli pushes calm and grit back down the line, anchoring me when my own reserves run dry. I walk the room through each leak, each twisted screenshot, redirecting, reframing, showing the cracks in Vanessa's story. My voice stays steady, even when my hands shake under the table, and the board starts to turn, suspicion shifting away from me. After in the hallway my boss catches my arm, eyes sharp but less furious.
That was good work, Riley. Messy, but you held your ground.
His praise brushes my skin, barely absorbed, because I am too busy feeling Ellie's silent relief ripple through me. That night we end up at the same diner without planning it, drawn by the binding or the cheap coffee or both. He slides into the booth across from me, looking as wrung out as I feel.
I spent all afternoon wanting to punch a woman I have never met, so thanks for that.
Welcome to my life, where wanting to punch people is a full-time side job.
We eat greasy fries and talk around the big thing, the connection threading every silence between us. At one point, his sadness spikes unprovoked, and I know he is thinking about his mother again. Without overthinking it, I reach across the table and tap his knuckles with mine.
You do not just absorb everyone else's pain, you are allowed to hand some back.
His eyes meet mine surprised, and the ache in my chest shifts into something warmer.
You are the one who pays strangers to carry your feelings, Quinn, kind of rich coming from you.
He says it lightly, but there is no judgment in it, just familiarity, like we are two sides of the same bruised coin. By Sunday night, the binding has not faded the way Graham promised. If anything, it feels sharper, emotions flickering between us faster, easier, like the line has cleared of static. I feel his annoyance when a client cancels at the last minute. He feels my quiet victory when I fix a minor mess before it spreads. The strange part is how quickly it becomes normal. This back and forth of moods and half-formed thoughts. For the first time in years, I am not carrying my entire emotional world alone. And that terrifies me, almost as much as it comforts me. On Monday, the city wakes up to a headline that blows every calm loan I have ever taken out of the water. A popular industry blog posts an anonymous tip about a secret emotion lending office in Manhattan. The article describes donors who absorb pain for money, clients who rent happiness like handbags. Halfway down the page my name appears in a blind item. A burned-out public relations director with a fainting problem. The tone is gleeful, scandal wrapped in wellness language, a perfect storm for a slow news day. My phone explodes before I even sit up in bed. Clients, reporters, my boss, all demanding answers. Through the link, I feel Eli's stomach drop, his usual steady calm torn open by a rare full shot of fear.
They found us, someone talked. This is bad.
His panic rides my bloodstream, mixing with my own, for once perfectly aligned instead of crashing into each other. I scroll to the bottom of the article and see the quoted source listed only as an insider rival, female, late 20s. I do not need a loan to know exactly who that is.
Vanessa really outdid herself this time. She did not just come for me, she went for you too.
Graham calls us both into the office, his face carved into harder lines than ever before.
I warned you both. This work only functions in the shadows. Once the light hits, people panic.
He slides a folder onto the table. Legal letters from regulators, requests for explanation from medical boards. I scan the pages, my crisis brain kicking in on instinct, even while my chest aches with Eli shared dread. If the office goes down, Eli loses his work, his home, his purpose, and it will be my name tied to the wreckage. For once, the idea of my reputation is not the thing that hurts most.
We can spin this, we do not deny, we reframe. People are already renting everything else, cars, apartments, why not support?
The plan forms even as I speak, a campaign built not on secrecy, but on brutal honesty. We show real people who crawled out of burnout with a little borrowed calm, donors who chose to share their surplus instead of hoarding it. We turn the office from a shady rumor into a radical mental health cooperative. Something messy and human instead of mystical.
You want to take us public, Quinn? That is insane.
His fear slams into me sharp, but underneath it is something else. A flicker of hope he does not want to name.
They are already talking, Eli. Either we let them tell the story or we tell it ourselves.
Graham watches us, eyes narrowed. The weight of an old decision flickering there again.
I tried this once years ago with someone who thought we could save the world with empathy and good press. It went badly. People are afraid of what they cannot control. She left before the dust settled.
His grief brushes against my skin, not through the binding, but through his own worn-out voice.
But the world is different now. More desperate, more tired, maybe more ready.
After a long minute, he nods once. Decision carved into the lines of his face.
Fine, we do it your way, Riley, but we do it on our terms.
The next 48 hours are chaos. The kind I used to thrive on and now survive through sheer stubbornness and borrowed courage. We film interviews with donors who speak about learning to set boundaries while still caring deeply. We gather testimonials from clients who used small loans to show up for final exams or funerals, or important conversations, instead of running. I coach Graham through a statement where he does not hide behind corporate language, but admits the risks openly. Eli sits for the final segment, eyes honest, voice steady as he explains what being an empath donor has cost and given him.
I spent years drowning in other people's hurt. This work gave it shape and purpose. Borrowed feelings do not replace therapy or medication. They just give people a little extra rope when they feel like they are slipping.
I feel his nerves flutter and send him my own thin thread of courage back down the line, our roles reversing without ceremony. When the campaign goes live, the first wave of responses is exactly what Graham predicted: fear and outrage. People shout that we are playing God, that emotions should not be for sale. Then the second wave comes, quiet messages from nurses, teachers, single parents, people who know what it is to run out of feeling. They ask how to apply, how to donate, how to talk about this with families who are hanging on by a thread. My boss at Ward's Stratagem calls to say half our clients are threatening to leave, and the other half want a meeting about partnerships. Vanessa tries one more time to twist the story, leaking an old clip of me slumped on those hotel tiles. This time the comments under the video do not laugh. They ask if I am all right, if anyone at my company offered help. The narrative has shifted, not into a fairy tale, but into something honest about how messy it is to stay functional in this city. When the dust finally settles, the regulators step back, labeling the office an experimental support service instead of a threat. Graham hangs a new sign on the door, smaller than I would have picked, but real. Emotion lending office, by appointment only, boundaries encouraged. The night of the unofficial victory party, the office is full of people who almost backed out and almost broke down, and did not. I stand by the window, watching the city lights, feeling oddly, quietly whole. Inside my chest, the binding hum is softer now, less like a live wire, and more like a familiar song.
Graham ran the scans. The channel between us is stable, but not forced anymore.
Eli joins me at the glass, holding 2 cups of terrible office punch, his shoulder brushing mine.
He says the binding has technically burned out. What we feel now is just us.
The words should scare me, the idea of losing the guarantee of someone sharing my storms. Instead, I feel a slow shore warmth spread through my ribs. My own, not borrowed, not leased.
So we could walk away now, no contracts, no halos, just back to drowning in our own stuff.
He looks at me like he already knows my answer, because he does. Because he has lived inside my fear and my stubborn hope.
Or we stay. We build something that does not rely on burning ourselves out for other people's comfort.
Outside, a billboard flashes a new ad for the office. My own tired face looking back at me, eyes softer than I remember. The caption reads, "You do not have to carry it alone." I let out a breath that has been stuck in my lungs for what feels like years.
I vote we stay, and maybe this time we lend each other something that does not come with an invoice.
His laugh rolls through me, bright and easy, and I do not need any device to know it is real. When he takes my hand, fingers lacing with mine, the feeling that floods my chest is not calm or courage or joy. It is all of them at once, messy and overwhelming and completely gloriously mine.
Thanks for watching. Follow for more romance stories.